Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of the PokerGO podcast. Tim brought the glasses back. That makes me happy. My name is Donnie Peters. His name is Tim Duckworth. What is going on, everyone? It is just past midnight. Well, it is now officially Tuesday, June 10th, but basically Monday, June 9th for us. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
You look very weird. Like you got something planned. I mean, I know you have something planned, but you look mischievous.
I got a present for you.
Yeah, I can't wait. I absolutely cannot wait.
If you're watching at home, you might be able to see my the back of my laptop. It's PokerGO podcast themed.
Oh my God.
And I got you a matching one.
What is it? Can I see it?
Wait, I'm going to show you it. Bring it up here. It's a little.
Wow.
Okay, and so you can put that on the back of your screen. A little bit
Look
of
at that.
advertising.
Advertising for what?
Just the podcast. But you see, I countryed mine up a bit. I'm going to show you mine, and people can see it at home, but I'll show you mine.
Oh my God. Good Christ almighty. What is happening?
We got a duck mullet down here. Got the peace sign. I think that's very fitting.
Wild.
Got some skulls.
Why is the peace sign fitting?
Because I always go like this. Peace. Or peace out.
Gotcha.
With some cowboy boots, some cowboy hats. You know, and I thought I'd country it up. You know, you're supposed to put it on your laptop screen.
I'm not putting it on right now.
Just clips to it. It's very simple.
Yeah, but I'll deal with it for next time.
Anyway,
okay.
But it's a little addition to our set, along with D-Neg's bubble, the PokerGO podcast hat, some Oats overnight. We got the fern. I got another one coming maybe tomorrow, the next day. This little thing. But we're spicing up the set. That's my little gift to you. You can throw it out at the end of the World Series, but for now, I think whatever.
It's definitely going to the trash at the end of the World Series.
Wow.
I'll tell you that much.
God,
all right, on today's show, we got the $10,000 7-card stud championship concluding last night. Not long after we left here, about an hour after we left here. So we'll hit on that. Chang Lee wins the $25,000 no limit hold'em high roller for almost $2 million. Tyler Brown scooped up his second WSOP gold bracelet. The big and bad Colossus is down to 9. That's going to be streaming Tuesday on PokerGO. Yours truly will be leading the commentary, so make sure you guys tune in for that. We'll touch on who's at the final table and what time that will start later on in this episode. You got D-Negs, Mr. Daniel Negreanu, Mr. Real Kid Poker, and Nick Schulman, the God, making a run in the 10K no-limit deuce to 7 single draw. The $50,000 high roller is underway, and of course, as always, we'll touch on everything else that's happening here at the 2025 World Series of Poker. As always, to start the show, I'd like to remind you to check out playpokergo.com because it is where all the action is. No bots, no gimmicks, just real players like Tim, even though he looks fake. He's a real person. And myself, I'm certainly real. We're on Play Poker Go all the time. We should schedule like a meetup game or something. Can we like do that? We'll just be like, we're going to go here and play at
during
this
the
time.
World Series?
Yeah, well, on Play Poker Go, we'll just like promote it that we're going to go in there and we're going to play.
It's Father's Day. We should do it Father's Day.
Oh, God.
That might be a bad day.
Yeah, that's probably a really bad day. So we won't do it then. But we'll figure that out. You guys, if you want to play, you can jump into ring games, crush tournaments. You can play the new No Gamble, No Future themed sit and goes, which I've been having plenty of fun with, spinning that wheel of gain at the beginning, seeing what you're playing for, and then going at it with a couple of other Play Poker Go players. It's authentic poker for people who love to play poker and not pretend. Play Poker Go is available on web. It's available on iOS. It's available on Android. Sign up for free today. PlayPokerGo.com is where it's at. Nick Guagenti, sir, who you and I both know fairly well.
Yep.
He defeated Chino Reem at 3 a.m. in the morning, about an hour after you and I did the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
I told you he was going to come back. As soon as JRB showed up on that rail, I knew it was over.
Yeah, it's JRB's fault.
It's over. Vince Carter, slam dunk style. It's over.
He's dead to me.
Who, Chino?
No, I always love Chino. JRB.
JRB, because he came and he put the mush on his guy.
Not cool.
Put the mush on his guy. Well, Nick Guagenti claimed his third WSOP gold bracelet and almost $300,000. He won a online bracelet, 2020 WSOP 2K no limit hold'em, and then he won the $1,500 limit hold'em in 2024. Fourth WSOP runner-up for Mr. Chino. Yeah. I mean, just wild.
He's also got a third. I think he's got a couple of fourths. Third was online.
Of course,
actually.
He has the seventh in the WSOP main event.
He's got obviously, a couple of other final table results, but yeah, fourth runner for Chino. That's a little bit of salt in the wounds right there for him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Chino's been around the block.
Mm-hmm.
He's seen it all. He's won almost it all, except for a WSOP bracelet. You know, he's won multiple WPT titles. He's got that PCA main event title. He's got PGT titles, both actual tournament trophies. He's got series titles as well. He's the champion of the PGT mixed games twice. So, you know, Chino's he won the Epic Poker League tournament.
Epic Poker League. Oh, baby.
I mean, that was like one of the coolest things ever. Cool I really miss the Epic Poker League. But he's won everything except for a WSOP bracelet.
He's going to get one. He's getting one soon.
Yeah, of course he's going to get one. I thought it was going to come, you know, last night. I mean, I thought it was going to come before I saw JRB. Let me point that out. Okay, and then I saw JRB and I knew it was over, right? Just going back to 2008, I knew it was over. But, you know, Chino was feeling good. He had a big chip lead. He was chirping. He was vaping. He was doing the whole Chino stuff. But Nick just absolutely freaking battled.
Yeah.
Like he got down to 5-6 big bets at one point and just didn't give up. Didn't look like he was wavering at all. Just really stuck to the course. I mean, even Chino made a comment at one point that was basically, you know, this is a new Nick. The old Nick would have just been blasting off. This is a new Nick. And Nick commented back, it was right as they were going to a break, that, well, this is tournament poker versus like what Chino knew him as, or what Chino was referencing. Nick said is cash game Nick. Yeah. You know, where you're going to be blasting off, doing funky things, getting a little wild, gambling it up a little bit more. But when your tournament life could potentially be on the line, you change up your strategy a bit.
And shift some gears.
Exactly. Yeah. So Nick Guagenti, congratulations to him, the winner of the $10,000 stud championship. I would imagine Nick gets to 5-6 bracelets at least, something like that. I mean, he's just that good in the mixed games. So look for him plenty more. And then obviously we'll keep our eye on Chino because he's got to win one day, right? I mean, it's got to happen. I mean, obviously it doesn't need to happen. Plenty of good players have gone without winning bracelets, or they've gone just so long. I know we often talk about the best poker players without a bracelet list. You know, Chino's got to be right up there, if not at the top of it. Mm-hmm. So eventually, maybe it'll come this series, maybe it won't. He did share on his Instagram, at least before today, that he's now unstuck for the 2025 World Series of Poker.
Let's go.
But then he promptly went and fired in the 50K high roller, so that might have taken him back into the red. I don't know just yet. Of course, we'll touch on that 50K high roller later on in the episode. Chang Lee, winner of the 25K no limit hold'em high roller. I believe he might go by Jack Lee, is what they were calling him on the broadcast.
I believe so.
So he topped a huge field. Record setting?
Record setting, massive field.
Yeah, massive. 392 entries, $1,949,000 for Lee. He won it in the end. He topped Andrew Ostapchenko. Ostapchenko, $1.3 million for second place. Final hand saw Lee river 2 pair against the top pair for Ostapchenko. Ostapchenko jammed. Lee made the call, and that was that. You had Eli Berg finishing in third. The doctor, Eli Berg.
He's a doctor?
He is a doctor. Matthew Franklin, fourth. Masato Yokosawa, the superstar Japanese vlogger, took 5th place. Joe McKeon, we all know Joe McKeon, former WSOP main event champion. So as Berg took home just under $900K for his 3rd place finish, Franklin 626, Yokosawa 447, and Joe McKeon 325. A lot of people were commenting that this was the most boring final table we've ever broadcast. Now, I don't necessarily think that was true. I just want to point it out what some people were saying. Many people were telling that to me here at Horseshoe. I thought this was very run of the mill, par for the course in these high roller tournaments. You know, they're like, well, these guys aren't talking. I mean, no one talks in poker anymore. They just don't do it. You know, and it's like the higher the buy-in, the lower the amount of talking. That's just how it goes.
That's true.
It's just, you know, these guys are solely focused on one thing and one thing only, and that is making the best decision at every possible moment that they have and trying to win first place in the tournament. So they don't have time to talk. They don't have time for chit chat or chat, you know, to say, hey, how you doing? You know, how's the wife? How's the kids? Like, no, there's none of that. So they are as dialed in as possible. They try and be as robotic as possible. Now, yes, that may be not as entertaining for some. I personally love it because I am just into the technical aspect of the game that we're watching. You know, like that's what I love to see. And I love to watch how these players are maneuvering, the plays that they're making, the strategies that they're deploying, all that sort of stuff. You know, I understand that some people want to tune in. They want to see ace, king versus queens. They want to see jumping up and down, sick river cards, bad beats, yelling, screaming, people falling to the floor, crying, all that sort of stuff. I get it. I love that stuff too.
Yeah, same.
You're just not going to get it in these tournaments. So I would say temper your expectations when you come into an event that is a 10K plus, and you're just not going to get it. You know, it's a different time in poker, especially as you go up higher in the buy-ins.
I've chatted with Nick Petrangelo about this, and he has said to me that this is really a giant math test with the highest stakes possible. You know, they're trying to make the right decisions, like you said, with the most money on the line. We're going to touch on an event coming up, the Colossus. You know, there was 12 left in the Colossus, a few from the final table. We had one of the players with a cowboy hat, mind you, all in and pretending to ride a horse while trying to lasso his opponent into a call. That's the $500 Colossus. This is 25K high roller. They're a world apart. Now, that would have been great on TV.
That would have been incredible on TV.
But, yeah, very different circumstances here between this 25K high roller with, you know, 1.95 million up top versus, you know, $500 buy-in Colossus with Cowboy Jack and his lasso.
And listen, that's one of the beauties about the World Series of Poker specifically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, today, you tune in, you watch this, you tune into PokerGo, you watch this 25K high roller final table, which, you know, for all intents and purposes, is a bunch of robots playing. You know, they're trying to solve the math test, as you mentioned, per Nick Petrangelo. Now, tomorrow, you're going to be able to tune in and watch the Colossus. Probably going to see some nonsense, right?
Lots of nonsense.
You know, so you kind of get it all at the World Series of Poker. And that's one of the best things about the World Series of Poker. This was a PGT qualifying event, was the 25K high roller. And what happened because of it?
Well, including the Stud Championship that finished at 3 a.m. in the morning.
True. That was also PGT
Chino
qualifying.
Reem back to first place, 1,254 points for the season. He has 2 wins, 5 podium finishes, 9 final tables, 13 cashes, 1.25 million in PGT earnings. So he jumps into first. He overtakes Eric Blair, who we've touched on. Nothing out of Eric Blair. Very quiet World Series.
Has he cashed once?
Hasn't cashed anything. Bubbled one event. So we haven't really heard much from him. The other big change in the 25K that Chang Lee just won, Joey Weissman picked up a little min cash. Why is that important? He is now the 7th player over 1,000 points. We always talk about 1,000 points being kind of the lock to make that top $40 million free roll. So now he has 1,002 points. He has his 1 win, 10 cashes, 1.1 million in earnings. And then when it comes to the actual 25K in question, Chang Lee up into 14th place with 750 points. We also have Andrew Ostapachenko, 17th place. He's got 2 cashes this season. Eli Berg, 25th place. And then 4th place finisher Matthew Franklin, just outside the top 40. But many more events for him to play to try and get in there and qualify. So that's basically the biggest changes to the PGT leaderboard. I think we're 8 PGT events in to the World Series. 8 completed events, sorry. That's little movements up and down here and there, overtaking first. So, yeah, lots to watch out for.
Tyler Brown took first place in the $600 No Limit Hold'em / PLO Deepstack, a big old field of 2,775 entrants, almost $180,000 for first place. That is Tyler Brown's 2nd WSOP gold bracelet. If you follow PokerGo, if you follow the PGT, you are well aware of Tyler Brown. He plays some stuff in the studio, mostly when it comes to the pot limit Omaha stuff. In this last PGT PLO series that we had in the spring, he crushed the first ever PGT mystery bounty, just pulling big bounties left, right, and center. So he did very well there. Of course, his first bracelet was in the Mystery Millions tournament. That was when he had long hair.
Yes.
Remember that? Long hair. And he pulled off I think it was a hero call at the final table.
Ace high. It was an ace high.
I believe it was
hero
ace
call?
high hero
Ace
call all in.
Yeah.
And it was just sick. Absolutely sick. Won $1 million in that tournament, wins $180K here.
And then cut his hair.
Yeah. Well, after the Mystery Millions.
Yeah.
You had Bjorn Gravlin taking second place for $118,000. Easton Orman, we mentioned him on the last episode. Easton is the social media manager for the World Poker Tour, so good to see Easton come out here, crush this. He pockets $86,000. Noah Bronstein, fourth place, $63K. Brian Andrews, fifth place for $47,000. Jacob Mendelssohn, $35K for sixth place. Cow Sabral, $26K for seventh place. Oliver Tott, $20K for eighth place. And Jazz Lee, probably butchered that name, but apologies if so. $15,700 for Lee in ninth place. Now, Tyler Brown, very, very good player, was drafted in 25K fantasy. Doesn't play a huge schedule of events. We'll probably weight his schedule very much towards anything that involves PLO. I think he even talked about it in the studio. I want to say about skipping the main event.
Crazy.
I don't think he's going to, but just whatever. Anyway, but he definitely said this. Or maybe he didn't say that, and I'm getting that wrong. So forgive me. But he definitely did say, that he might play like 5Ks and higher, no limit. If it calls for it, but mostly going to be focused on PLO. Another thing that's notable about Tyler is he's kind of been ranting on social media the past day or so. A couple days ago, he tweeted out, seeing so many people more vocal about issues at the WSOP this year than any prior year. I feel like it's all going to fall on deaf ears, but man, we pay so much rake. I just noticed the 600s are 504 plus 96. How are these things even beatable for most people? Listen, the rake is high.
Yep.
Yes. And there's not really anything poker players can do about it other than don't show up.
Yeah.
So
go somewhere else.
The numbers have been good all series. The numbers are always good at the World Series. The numbers are good across poker in general.
Yep. So
if you're going to combat this, players on volume need to speak with their wallets and not participate. And until that happens, I don't think operators are going to change and they're going to keep increasing rake. I personally don't care all that much about the rake, but I also don't do this professionally, play poker. I have a job and then I play poker seriously, but still recreationally. So I understand where people are coming from, like this. That said, I do think, rake needs to not get so crazy and out of hand. Now, if you are offering a better service and that justifies increasing the rake, so be it. And this year, it's kind of tricky because on one hand, you can say like a lot of the stuff here is the same, right? On the other hand, you can say like the WSP Plus app in and of itself is kind of worth some increased rake, maybe?
Yeah.
Could you argue that? Not having to wait in registration lines and payout lines and all that sort of stuff. Like, I don't know. So it kind of goes both ways. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and defend rake increases. I'm just saying that it often seems that players, and I'm just using Tyler Brown's tweets as a jumping off point, they are constantly saying this stuff on social media and talking about it and complaining about it, but then they're ultimately not doing anything about it because you need to speak with your wallets. You can't just yell and scream on social media because no one's going to care, at the end of the day. So that's my little piece on that. The Colossus, the good old Colossus, 10th anniversary of the Colossus.
It is. Thanks. Shout out Matt Clark.
Yeah. $500 buy-in in this year's Colossus. 16,301 entries. The final 9 are guaranteed. Almost $58,000. Playing for $542,000 up top. The blinds are going to be, what, 2.5 million, 5 million, which seems out of control.
Yeah.
What's the average stack? 15
like
bigs.
16 bigs, yeah.
Tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. So this one's going to be streaming on Tuesday on PokerGo, starting at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific time. I will be doing commentary alongside Tristan Wade. I'm ready for the shit show.
Yeah.
Bring on the shit show.
Too bad we couldn't get the lasso man in there, Cowboy Jack.
That would have been absolutely awesome.
Great.
Absolutely awesome. We have Ramaswamy Pylori. Hope I got that right. As the chip leader with 224 million chips. 224 million. You start with 50,000.
Yeah, he's got a lot of chips.
Wild, absolutely wild. Who else we got there? We got Matt Glantz made the final table. Ryan Lang made the final table. We got an MMA fighter, Antonio Tricali from Brazil, 61 million for him. So it really is this Ramaswamy Pylori with 224. Then you have Sigrid Denker with 101 million.
Female player there.
Yeah, and then everyone else is you know, I mean, you have Kai Wen Wei with 90 million, but a lot of people are right around 70 to 60 million.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I'm going to be interested to see. So if I were to see this chip distribution, let's say in what we just talked about, 25K high roller, I would expect the chip leader to just go balls to the wall, almost not look at his cards.
Yeah.
Given everything that's happening here, the ICM dynamics, all that sort of stuff. You never know what you're going to get in a tournament like the Colossus. You know, Ramaswamy could sit back and just chill.
Yeah. He
could go balls to the wall. And then if like so whatever you see, and then you could also see a lot of the other stacks just go nuts as well. You know, you have 4 stacks with 12 big blinds. So I have no idea what's going to happen.
I'm gonna read you the final hand of the day. If you don't mind.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
I will lead with it was a double knockout to get to the final table.
Baby.
Bobby Poe, you know, you might have played a lot with Bobby Poe, Vegas Reg. He's under the gun. He moved all in for looks like 16 million, which was 3 big blinds. Augustine Mendez next stack in the cut of rejam 17.8 million. Okay, another 3.5 big blinds. Ramaswamy Pylori was in the big blind and said, "Why not?
Why not?" See, that's what you get in the Colossus. You get why not calls.
Why not? And called. Bobby Poe, ace queen offsuit, strong hand.
Yep.
Augustine Mendez, pocket eights.
All right.
But it's fun. Ramaswamy, 3-4 of diamonds. Okay. Getting some good odds. You're the big blind. You're the chip leader. I'm not going to argue.
Absolutely. Why
Flop
not?
comes 6, Jack Queen, Rainbow. Okay. Bobby Poe looking good. Triple up here.
6 Jack Queen. How in the world does 3-4 win this hand? I mean, obviously.
Turn was a 7. River was a 5.
Of course.
Double knockout. We're at our final 9. Ramaswamy there with the runner
Why
straight.
Not?
Why not? So this is the Colossus. You know, we ran a little bit bad. We lost a female just prior to the final table. We lost David the Dragon Pham just short of the final table.
That guy's just still
and obviously Bobby Poe, who some people know. But otherwise, you know, you mentioned Matt Glantz. You also forgot Ryan Lang.
So I said them back to back. Yeah.
2 very notable pros on there. It'd be very interesting. You know, you talked about ICM to see how they play with their, you know, they're right in the middle of that pack with 60 million.
Well, but they're at the bottom.
They're at the bottom.
That pack is at the bottom. So I would anticipate they play pretty tight. And they just let everyone else kind of.
Or do you think they take that opposite approach? It's like, you know what, these guys are scared of these pay jumps. I'm going to try and move my 60 million up to 90, up to 120, so I can have all that power.
I mean, listen, that can be the case. Yes. Yeah. On the surface, like I wasn't out there watching. I wasn't out there playing with these players. Now, if Matt Glantz and Ryan Lang played with these players, which they have been, and they have a feel for how they're going to approach pay jumps, because even before the final table, pay jumps are quite large for all these players. So if they have a sense that there's going to be some timid play, then yeah, maybe they attack. But I would anticipate that they don't attack. Okay. I would think that they kind of just sit back and be like, listen, some of these players are going to go nuts. You know, they're also in kind of bad seats. They're in seat 6 and seat 7. Yep. You know, so they're right next to each other. But then in seat 8, you have Denker with the second largest stack. And then in seat 9, you have Why Not Pylor.
You need to reference him as Why Not Pylor.
I'm going to call him Why Not Pylor the whole time.
The entire final table.
I mean, come on.
So great.
It's absolutely incredible.
Shout out to Poker News for that hand update, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
See you got to
get the gold. You got to get the gold.
Laura Fryer, I think she's second-year reporter, British. The Why Not is fantastic.
You need the quotes like that. because
I
they're
love
just
it.
freaking gold.
Yeah.
I mean, Poker News also got that other quote from Nick Schulman against Martin Cabral. Say my name, Martin.
Say my
which is
name, Martin.
absolutely top tier.
Poker News has been pretty good
Absolutely
with the color. Adding the color to these
You got to
hands.
get the color in there.
Yeah.
You know, because you got to bring these characters to life.
Yeah.
So that's always
Make them famous.
great stuff. Yes, of course.
Why not?
Yes.
Why?
This episode of the PokerGO podcast is brought to you by Oats Overnight, the official protein-packed breakfast of PokerGO. Oats Overnight is built for the poker lifestyle. It's high-protein, drinkable oatmeal that's gluten-free. It's made with real ingredients, and it's ready to go whenever you are. Whether it's a late-night grind or an early start, fuel up with a healthy grab-and-go breakfast that's actually good. I've had one every single day for the past 3 days since we got the shipment in. I really enjoy it. Today I customized it. Let's say I put a scoop of protein powder in there as well
good. That's
to beef it up even more.
It has protein, right?
Yeah, I think it has 20 grams of protein in there in all of them.
This one has 15.
Okay, so 15. I've seen 15. I've seen I think 19, and I've seen 20.
Yeah.
Was there one? There's one right here too. Here, I'll look. Yeah,
But
this one's got. Oh, these are a little small.
These are the little smaller ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should be a little.
So anyway, yeah, 15 to. I mean, the best part I think about this is, you know, I'm big on like not trying to have a ton of sugars in my stuff.
Yeah.
And this has 9 grams of sugars, so that's not horrendous, because you get a lot of stuff where, you know, flavored oatmeal and it's packed with sugar and it just crushes you. So this is good. But yeah, I actually added a scoop of protein and I added a tablespoon of flaxseed. So
okay.
That's
I
what
think you also
there.
need to mention that we we did the almond milk ones, but these ones here
These ones
specifically
are water.
designed for water.
Yeah.
So there is an option for if you're not a milk person, like I'm not a dairy guy, but if you want to do the water, you know how you have these little, I guess, grab and go. You call them little grab and go ones.
I mean, it's all
available.
very quick. You know, you put them in your fridge before you go to sleep. Go to sleep, wake up, grab it. You're out the door. Bing, bang, boom. Let's go. So that's that. Nick Schulman and Daniel Negreanu are among the final 16 in the prestigious $10,000 buy-in No Limit Deuce to 7 single draw. One of the best tournaments of the year, every single year. An enormous field for this tournament.
Yes.
233 entries, record setter. I mean, that is ridiculous how big this field is. Almost,
well, like we said, they added one more re-entry that helps you get a lot of people firing a third bullet.
Almost $500K for first place. 35 players in the money. $497,356 is the official first place prize. It is currently looking like Dan Smith is leading the way. Daniel Negreanu is second. Nick Schulman is third. Darren Elias cruising along in fifth. Who else is out there? Is Huck Seed still in?
Huck Seed just busted in 16th place. You have Greg Mueller, Chad Evesledge, Ben Yu, Benjamin Diebold, Ali Islami, Elio Sion, James Chen, Taiwan, and rounding out the 16, Brian Rast, the short stack. So stacked field. Bracelet winners,
this is
50K
ridiculous.
PPC winners, player of the year, you know, just a murderous row of talented poker players in this 16.
Yeah, I mean, this is just an absolutely great tournament. So very much looking forward to this one. Watching it play out tomorrow. Probably do some check-ins. I know I talked to Aiden, producer Aiden, earlier, just, you know, setting this one up on one of those secondary tables so we can do some check-ins as we go. We'll try and follow this as best we can, of course. And then, you know, maybe there's a chance if it breaks well. Maybe you get a Negreanu Schulman final table. We slap it on there up on the stream table and we go. But obviously stay tuned for that. If not, stay tuned to PokerNews.com and the other reporting outlets for coverage of this tournament. The $50,000 No Limit Hold'em High Roller kicked off today. 124 entries on day one, but they bag nice and early, around 8 p.m. or something insane like that. And then they come back tomorrow and registration will be open. 52 players remain, so a little bit less than half the field remains. There were a total of 112 entries last year, so already ahead of pace.
Yeah, crushing it.
Already ahead of pace. It is really wild to see how good these numbers are performing across the board for the World Series of Poker. Now, some things have been down, yes, but I think many people, myself included, you know, are just pleasantly surprised with all the turnouts. Chris Hunican, aka Big Hunie, won the event last year. Wasn't this the one that was the crazy final table where he was jumping up and down and going crazy? And
his rail was going crazy.
Rail was going. I mean, he was going crazy
Yeah.
too, but his rail was going nuts. Which is funny because we just talked about how you're not going to get that in a high roller final table, but Big Huni certainly breaks that mold.
Yeah, he doesn't qualify.
He's out there.
Yeah,
he does not qualify. No. Last year he won $2.838 million, so already up to 124. I would imagine, just as we saw in that 25K high roller, we're going to get a boatload of late reg tomorrow. Yeah. So they're probably going to have to do one of those things where they redraw the whole field.
Yeah,
I would expect this first place prize to go well over $3 million. I don't see how it doesn't. I mean, how many late reg are they going to get tomorrow? 30?
30 is a lot. Obviously, you're going to have this 10K deuce that has, 4 or 5 players that would play. Shulman, Negreanu, Dan Smith, Brian Rast, to name a few. So you're going to lose some of those.
Yeah, you might get a Darren Elias in there.
Yeah, Darren Elias. I'm not sure. I think Alex Foxen just busted. So, yeah, I think you'll get a few. 30 is ambitious, but the way the numbers have been in these high rollers this year.
Why is 30 ambitious? What did it get for the 25K?
If you're finding 30 players to put up 50K, with all this stuff going on is ambitious. But I'm just saying, everything's been shattering records and breaking the mold here, this World Series. So, 30 is probably going to be a cakewalk tomorrow.
I mean, you're going to get all the people that, what is it? It's 1 reentry? Is it? Or is it 2?
I think it's 1 reentry, yeah.
Whatever it is, you're going to get the players who haven't fired their allotted reentries, right? You're going to get those. And then even some of those players, might have fired 1 bullet today, and then they'll fire another bullet tomorrow. Sure, yeah. And then if they bust, they'll fire another one after that, if it's before registration. So I would expect this one to get 170 in the field, which is 46 more entries. Like this is going to be absolutely enormous. I mean, it already is enormous. 124 entries. It's freaking crazy. You have Frenchman Alexander Reard leading the way. He's ahead of Victor Blom, Zhao Samao, Jack Rozier, who I don't know Jack Rozier, but he's in 4th place. Brock Wilson, 5th place. Zhao Vieira, 6th place. We know Brandon Steven. We know Marius Gers, Oliver Weiss. Jason Kuhn had a big day. I was watching the stream today. They did a check-in on that event, and Jason Kuhn is like getting back situated at his table. Looked like he just ran a sprint, and he was telling a story how he got locked in an elevator here at Horseshoe. Yeah, and he was saying how he was telling the story about how it was either like one of his friends. I don't remember who it was exactly, but it was either like a Jeremy Osmus, Seth Davies, or a Ben Toler, and something like that. Like one of those people got locked in one before too. And he was like, Jason was remembering what that person told them was like, you just have to stay calm, whatever. He ends up getting out. He's of course late. So he sprints to the tournament. Yeah, the whole thing. Locking my guy, Jason Kuhn, in an elevator. I don't know what's going on here. What's going on here? Seth Davies bagged well. He's in 13th place with 948,000. They
bagged big, would you say?
I don't like to use that. So, and I also noticed that Poker News has not been using it a lot.
That's good. Get rid of that.
They started with 300,000 in this tournament. Jeremy Osmus bagged 349,000. He got a very late start because he basically bubbled the 10K no limit deuce to 7. He finished in like 38th or 39th place or something like that, and 35 paid. So yeah, day 2 is going to be streaming on PokerGo.com. The plan is a double stream day on Tuesday. Going to do the final table of the Colossus, which could probably be over in 30 minutes, or it could probably take up to 3 hours, somewhere in that window. But I would highly encourage everyone, if you want to watch that, to be ready to go at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Time, because it could be very quick. Okay. And then later on in the day, we're going to fire up day 2 coverage of the 50K no limit hold'em high roller. Once again, yours truly will be on the coverage. So that'll be a fun one to do. What's the plan for that? Like what time are we going live?
Very dependent on the Colossus. And if that's really quick, we may start before dinner.
The Colossus, I wasn't joking. It could be over in half an hour.
Yeah, it could be. So if that's the case, we'll probably pick the action up the 2 levels before dinner break. So we'll do 6 levels of coverage. If the Colossus goes, normal kind of time, we might just do post-dinner break coverage of the 50K. So the last 4 hours of the night. So we'll kind of make that decision probably 3-4 p.m. tomorrow once that Colossus is right in full gear.
Alrighty, well, that's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. Get a little bit of both. You get a high-paced, fast and furious Colossus final table. Then you get the deep stack, the technical high roller day 2 as they play, towards the money. Maybe they get into the money. Oh, I would think they would get into the money, right? Probably late.
It would probably be just post dinner, maybe. Yeah.
All right. Well, tune into PokerGO tomorrow. It's going to be a day long of streaming. I cannot wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. The $1,500 Big O. They still got 3 people left over there?
Yeah, still got 3 people left.
All right, they still got 3 people left. Ryan Honig is one of the 3. He's currently short stacked, 3 out of 3. You have Igor Zetzer and Paul Sincere are the 2 other players in there. But Ryan Honig, bring him up, of course, because he already won a bracelet this World Series. He won, what, 10K Dealer's Choice? 10K something.
Yes, that's it.
10K Dealer's Choice? Is that what he won?
Yeah.
Okay. He's going for number 2, so he would join Benny Glauser as a 2-time bracelet winner if he does win. Again, he is 3 of 3 right now. We'll update this one on the next episode to see where things shake out. But even if he doesn't ultimately get the win, let's say he busts in 3rd, certainly a strong contender now for Player of the Year. And we'll see how he goes. One of the things I love about Ryan Honig is he is like super emotional and colorful. Like he cheers, he yells, he says like, let's go. Like he fucking gets into it.
Yeah.
And you don't often see that from a lot of professional players. You don't see it from a lot of the guys that play the high stakes mixed games. But he certainly is out there. He's celebrating with his rail a bunch, like all that sort of stuff. So it's a lot of fun to see him have, what is very much a breakout summer, really, really announcing himself to the world through the success here. The $2,500 no limit Texas Hold'em, aka the freaking Cadillac of poker, baby. What's going on over there? We got 17 remaining?
17 remaining of the 1,493 players. John Valeninas leading. A couple notables still in the mix. Ram Oganyan, Dylan Lindy, Ian O'Hara. Guaranteed 21K. Playing for $496,000. Coming back tomorrow, 17. Going to play down to a winner.
I mean, good field, right? Big field? Can't remember if this was up or down. Oh, down slightly.
Yeah.
Right. It was down slightly. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? But good field. You mentioned those names in there. I mean, $500,000 first place prizes. Freaking sweet, too.
2 of those players also potential late registrations in the 50K.
True.
Yeah.
Are they going to, is this going to get to a winner tomorrow?
I think it should. 70 players, yeah.
Okay. We got the $800 no limit Hold'em Deepstack that kicked off today. How big did this thing get?
Down a little bit from last year. 1,499 players.
Wait, what? No. There's 4,400.
Well, then I think you put that there.
No, I didn't put any of that. I didn't touch the rundown today.
This line? Or
that
this line
is
from?
For sure. I wrote that line, but it's from yesterday.
Ah, okay, got it.
There's a couple things in here that are still in there from yesterday. But anyway, 4,480 entries, I think, in this one. You got the app. Look up the app. Get the app. We got to check on our boy.
Well, he's still got chips according to Poker News.
So the last update I see on PokerNews.com is that there are 258 players remaining, and they have bagged up. So they are done for the day. Okay. I saw at one point that Steven Song was still in. So why don't you give us a check on Mr. Song, the big field king that is Steven Song. What's that mean?
He's 4th in chips.
He's 4th in chips? How many chips does he have?
2 million. Just round it up.
Steven Song is the greatest player in big field no limit hold'em tournament history. He has to be. The guy is absolutely incredible. Look up your Uri.
400K. He's ain't out. That's all that matters.
Good job, boys. Way to go, boys. Way to go. Way to go. If Jeremy's not going to do it, these guys are going to do it. Okay. It doesn't matter. All right. So that's cool. That's a lot of fun. Any other names stick out to you?
Michael Monchek, Nick Palmer.
Okay. Michael Monchek.
The Grinder. They're all in there.
The grinder.
Yeah, the grinder.
Grinder.
I'm scrolling to see who else we can kind of pull out from here. Calvin Anderson.
Calvin
Got some
Anderson, another
chippies.
absolute crusher when it comes to like big field stuff. Calvin Anderson, this guy just freaking
Will
does it,
Jaffe's
man.
in there.
Nick Marchington.
Ralph Massey. Michael Norrie.
All right.
David Baker.
Which one?
I'm clicking the picture. Bracelets.
Sean Buchanan.
Not sure which one. Doesn't tell me. Sean
Nick Seward,
Buchanan.
who you saw the other day. He was warming up for this event.
What is those machines? The jackpot in the hallway?
Dude, they're like those tables that were in Australia.
Yeah,
what are those tables? Poker Pro. The Poker Pro tables. They have one of these. If you've ever been to the WSOP and you've walked in the Paris hallway, they have different vendors. You know, they got like the Copac cards. That's where the PokerGO shop is. They got a Gorilla gaming table, but then they have, I don't even know what it's called.
It's called Jackpot Digital.
Jackpot Digital.
And
but
who's the old Cowboys coach? Jimmy Johnson?
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson.
Endorsed by Jimmy Johnson. Because
it's the most random endorsement ever.
Yeah, that really sells me.
I mean,
Jackpot Digital.
Get them checks, Jimmy. But holy hell, that's a little like.
I'm going to send this picture.
You couldn't find any. And listen, there's no way Jimmy Johnson is cheap. There's no way he's cheap for that. You couldn't find any poker player. Any poker player.
We could have done it. We would have done it.
Any poker player.
We would have done it for just one of those tables at the PokerGO studio for us to mess around on.
And he's not like the photo that they use is like a stock Jimmy Johnson like
he's holding a
photo.
Football.
Yeah,
he's holding
like he's on the set for whatever. It's just incredible.
Sunday kickoff or something, and they just
yeah. But like here, use this photo.
The background. I'm going to send this to producer Rich so he can hopefully insert while we mention this. Nick Seward, Sam Laskowitz, grinding Jackpot Digital on break of some event, getting their reps in.
It's poker, right?
Yeah. And you do a little push the screen and shows you cards. Yeah. Exactly like the old Poker Pro machines.
Yeah, but don't ever bring those anywhere near actual casinos. We want chips. We want actual cards. We want all that sort of stuff. But they were warming up. So, Nick Seward is off and running after that warm up. The $1,500 limit hold'em, the limited betting championship. Well, it's not the limited betting championship because they got the 10K. What's going on in this one? I hate that I got to click 9,000 buttons on poker.
124 players left.
491.
491 player field. Chris Hunichin, fourth in chips. Another player that
some of these people, what are they doing in this tournament?
Another player that would likely be in the 50K. One more player that's no idea why they're in the limit hold'em. Jeremy Becker. He could be probably not a candidate for the 50K, but Scott Seaver also has chips. Definitely.
You know who is a candidate for the 50K? Frank Brannon.
And he's in
100%. He's in this tournament.
Oh my God, what's going on?
I don't know what these people are doing. Why would you play this tournament?
Maybe they're warming up for the 50K.
Yeah. They're Sean Deeb. Well, he just busted. This is, I don't know what people are doing playing this tournament. This is such a funny tournament. All right, what are they? Did they have? Is this registration closed? There's no prize pool on here.
Should be closed, so maybe they just haven't.
All right, well, whatever. I mean, doesn't really matter. We got the $1,500 no limit hold'em turbo. Is that a bounty? Or is
I think
just
it
a
is.
turbo?
I think it's Super Turbo Bounty.
The Super Turbo Bounty that kicks off on Tuesday. It's a single day event. It'll probably end around 5 a.m. or something crazy. I would imagine actually that one, think that field's going to be insanely big. Like it's always kind of big, but I think it's going to be even bigger. Just seeing what we've seen from some of these numbers this year. So I would anticipate a pretty late finish in that one. You got a $1,500 no limit hold'em freeze out that I am bummed that I cannot play, but it is what it is. And then the 10K PLO 8 championship, baby. A lot of fun. A lot of good tournaments. So that's what's going on. What else you got for me? Do we have any new code words?
No, I'm not gonna use code words.
Remind the people about the hats.
No, we've got the hats. You got to come get them.
How many have you given out? How many did you do today?
Gave out 2 today.
Oh, 2. That's it.
I had 2 people come over wanting one, but not knowing the password. So
knowing the password.
They just keep seeing about the pictures. They keep hearing about it on social. But
who was it? Do we have to call anyone out, or is it just randoms?
Not yet. We'll see if he can figure it out. But
did Justin Zaki get back to you on the password yet?
No. So if he keeps bricking events, he might want us to listen to the podcast and get this lucky hat. But yeah, still got a few more. If you want some oats overnight, we got some oats overnight. And yeah, we'll probably do a new code word for the Gleam promotion next episode.
Okay. All right. Sounds good to me. Well, let's just call it there.
Okay.
We'll get on out of here, and we'll have a good day on Tuesday. We'll talk to you guys next time. For Tim Duckworth, my name is Donnie Peters. See ya.